Okay, fine, I'll make a video. IMAX Trip Official, let's go.
Speed. I am speed.
So if I'm going to be honest, I'm not really into the sport of racing that much. Don't get me wrong, I could see the appeal, but NASCAR is just the same layout. Although that can be because I have only seen Cars 1 through 3. Now I like those movies, but still. To me, F1 seemed like the same thing but with faster cars and tracks that have more turns and scenery. But this film proved that there is more to the sport than it seems. F1, or as it was marketed as F1 the movie, is a film directed by Joseph Kosinski about a retired F1 racer who goes back into the sport to help out a struggling team. Now, I knew of Joseph Kosinski's work because of his previous film, Top Gun Maverick. That film was amazing for its action sequences down to its story in the film most, including me, considered better than the first. Hell, it was even my second favorite of the year. Now, Joseph's style is present in this one, with camera shots of cars that are reminiscent of those in Maverick, to how it's presented as a high-speed thrill ride to the audience. Though, if there's one thing I have to criticize the film for, spoilers by the way, is where another driver's mother blames another driver for the cause of his crash. Like, ma'am, could you let your son speak? Or better yet, why not just tell her in the hospital that it was your decision in the first place? Like, I know, like, he tells her later in the film, but still. But other than that, it's watchable. Though not reaching the lengths of Kosinski's previous film, F1 still manages to be on its own and a thrill ride to race lovers. And F1 gets a final rating of 8 out of 10 from me.
Superman, he flies through the rings.
To someone who wasn't a big Superman king growing up like me, it would be a surprise to hear that Superman from this year was one of my most anticipated films of the year. From its direction down to the director, it sounded like a fire hit for not only for the studio, but for audiences as well. James Gunn's superhero films are stuff to behold. They can remain faithful while adding in some humor for fun. Stuff like his 3 Guardians of the Galaxy films, and even his previous films with DC's The Suicide Squad were huge hits with audiences, with the latter film having a bigger success on streaming due to Warner Bros. Streaming plan with HBO Max. But anyways, to me, it sounded like this was going to be the superhero film of the year, and after watching it, I could confidently say that not only is this the best superhero film so far this year, but I am also excited for James Gunn's direction on future DC films and content. Superman is about Superman trying to win the public interest back after Lex ruined it for the public. That is all you need to know, that and the word that looks suspiciously familiar to something that is actually going on. I don't know what it is, but I can't mention it. The casting of Superman is actually great. David Cornsweet gives up a performance that gives the character of Superman the hope that was missing with the previous version, and even gives him some character reminiscent of Christopher Reeve. Nicholas Hoult gives off a screen-accurate depiction of Lex Luthor, not only physically, but sometimes personally. This Lex doesn't wear wigs, doesn't have a jar of piss, and best of all, didn't act a crime outside of character that I'm legally not allowed to see, and even doesn't have leukemia unlike his role 10 years ago.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
You know, there's one part in the movie where there's just a room of monkeys shit-talking on Superman online, and all I can think of is this.
This is 1,000 monkeys working at 1,000 typewriters. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. You stupid monkey!
While some effects seemed rushed and the story isn't for everyone, Superman is an example of what Superman was when the first one came out in '78, but also a reminder of what a modern superhero film can be from the start. Superman gets a rating of 8 out of 10 from me. Did I forget to say something? Oh yeah, A1, A1, A1.
Say that again?
Much like Superman, I didn't care about the Fantastic Four. Hell, I didn't even know that much about them outside one of their enemies, Dr. Doom. Outside of that, before this film came out, there weren't that many film adaptations that were a must-watch. Well, except for that unreleased one for those who are curious that somehow leaked in the 90s. Adaptations of this superhero family in film have had mixed to negative results. From using their powers in unlikely situations to productions issues, the four didn't have a good track record on film. Hell, the last attempt got made fun of recently because of this line.
Say that again?
But then 10 years later, Kevin comes up to us and says, "Hey, this is how you do a Fantastic Four film." First Steps is the first Fantastic Four film to actually know what to do with its source material. The film is about the team trying to save their planet and their newborn from Galactus. And honestly, it works. The casting also works. Pedro proves that he could play Mr. Fantastic better than the previous actor did in the MCU. Even though I haven't seen that film. And as for the Thing, well, they decided to finally give him a full set of clothes after leaving him shirtless and eventually pantless in the previous adaptation. Really, Josh? Why you gotta leave him pantless? Where are his pants? Silver Surfer in this film made people realize that there are more iterations of this character that exist, one of them being a woman, which is exactly what we got in this film. It also made people realize that she was hot. You don't think so? Here's a photo of Lex after he slept with her. But it has some problems. Well, first, it's an MCU film. Enough said. And two, it could have been a bit longer to stretch out some plot elements out. Another one are the effects, and it is surely noticeable. I'm looking at you, newborn. I definitely noticed you. But other than that, Fantastic Four First Steps is what fans of the source material actually wanted in a film adaptation of the titular team. And my final rating is a 7 out of 10. This is the best adapted Fantastic Four film made so far. Now, The Incredibles, that is actually the best Fantastic Four film ever made. So this is just an update. While editing this video, a new Naked Gun film came out. So I decided to see that. I took too long to make this video, so instead of making a audio review of it, I just opted to do a written review. So the review is down in the description in case you want to check it out. That'll be all for me, and see you another time.